The 2026 World Cup is the largest logistical puzzle in sports history. 3 nations, 4 time zones, nearly 3,000 miles between some venues. How do you move billion-dollar rosters from high-altitude stadiums to humid coastal arenas without sabotaging performance? Today, we're uncovering the invisible infrastructure making that operation possible. Welcome back to Victory Grid. This isn't about tactics or trophies. This is about the machinery behind the tournament, the secret air corridors, mobile customs clearances, climate science, turf logistics, and command centers that keep the 2026 World Cup moving seamlessly across North America. Because when the world watches kickoff, what they don't see is the largest synchronized sports operation ever attempted. The geographic challenge of 3 nations. The 2026 World Cup spans the United States, Mexico, and Canada, a continental footprint unlike any tournament before it. Consider the extremes: Vancouver to Mexico City, roughly 2,400 plus miles. Los Angeles to Toronto, over 2,100 miles. Guadalajara's altitude, down to 5,100 feet above sea level. Miami's humidity index in summer, routinely above 80%. No previous World Cup has required teams to adapt to this range of altitude, climate, and travel stress within days. FIFA's solution? A regional pod system. During the group stage, teams are clustered into geographic regions to reduce long-haul transitions. A squad playing in the Western Corridor may rotate between cities like Los Angeles, Seattle, and Vancouver. Another group may remain in the Central Corridor, rotating between Dallas, Houston, and Mexico City. This minimizes cross-continental travel early in the tournament, but eventually the bracket demands movement. And when knockout rounds begin, teams can be required to shift thousands of miles within a 72-hour window. That's where the true logistical architecture activates. The Platinum Air Corridor strategy commercial travel is not an option. Teams move via dedicated charter aircraft operating within pre-negotiated Platinum Air corridors. These are FAA and Navi Canada coordinated flight paths with protected time slots, ensuring minimal holding patterns and no commercial congestion delays. In simple terms, their flights are prioritized. Airports in host cities allocate secured arrival windows exclusively for tournament traffic. Upon landing, teams don't enter public terminals. Instead, mobile customs and immigration units board aircraft directly on the tarmac. Passports are processed plainside. Equipment is pre-cleared digitally. Baggage never touches public conveyor systems. From wheels down to bus departure can take under 20 minutes. Why is that speed critical? Because recovery begins immediately. Sports science teams monitor hydration, inflammation markers, and sleep cycles during flight. Upon landing, recovery protocols, cold therapy, compression systems, altitude recalibration sessions start within the first hour. The faster transit concludes, the faster biological reset begins. Travel efficiency equals performance preservation, scientific acclimatization, and pitch preparation. Now consider environmental shifts. A team may play in Guadalajara's thin, high-altitude air, then fly to sea-level humidity in Miami days later. The oxygen density difference alone impacts aerobic capacity, muscle fatigue rates, and sprint recovery. To mitigate this, federations use pre-installed acclimatization modules at designated training hubs. These hubs include altitude simulation chambers, climate-controlled indoor pitches, humidity-adjusted recovery rooms, light therapy systems to recalibrate circadian rhythms across time zones. Players don't just arrive, they transition physiologically. Then there's the pitch itself. One of the tournament's least visible miracles is turf consistency. Grass is grown in controlled nurseries months in advance, using identical seed blends and soil composition standards across regions. Climate variances are accounted for with region-specific irrigation and UV management plans. Some stadiums even deploy modular turf trays grown off-site and installed shortly before matches to ensure optimal root integrity. The goal? A striker in Vancouver should feel the same surface response as he does in Atlanta. Because micro differences in turf density affect ball roll speed, traction, and injury risk, consistency reduces uncertainty. Invisible supply chains and tech hubs players are only one piece of the movement puzzle. Every match requires VAR systems, broadcast control units, high-definition replay servers, tactical tracking cameras, referee communication kits, LED advertising boards. Much of this technology leapfrogs between cities overnight. Dedicated equipment fleets transport modular broadcast kits in parallel with team movements. Some units travel via air freight, others move via secured trucking corridors. Local tech hubs in each host city store redundant backup systems in case of transport delays. And training hubs reduce packing volume. Teams designate one primary base per region. Equipment managers pre-stage duplicate kits, medical supplies, and recovery gear at those hubs. This limits the need to fully repack and transport entire operational inventories between each match. It's a reduction of friction strategy. Less movement equals fewer failure points. The command center and emergency protocols behind everything sits the tournament's logistics war room. This centralized command center tracks team buses via encrypted GPS, aircraft routes in real time, equipment trucks across borders, weather systems affecting host cities, airspace congestion alerts, stadium readiness checklists. Data flows in continuously. If a storm threatens a scheduled departure, backup flight paths are activated. If airspace closes unexpectedly, secondary airports are pre-cleared. If a training pitch becomes unplayable due to weather, alternate facilities are already reserved. Every 48-hour turnaround window includes layered contingencies. Security coordination adds another dimension. Host cities integrate local law enforcement, federal agencies, and private security teams into synchronized operational timelines. Motorcade routes are pre-mapped. Emergency medical corridors are reserved. Stadium perimeter sweeps occur on fixed intervals prior to kickoff. The synchronization is surgical because even a 2-hour delay cascades into reduced recovery time, compressed media obligations, shortened training sessions, increased fatigue risk. At this scale, time is the most valuable resource, how it all comes together. What makes 2026 unique isn't just geography, it's scale. More teams, more matches, more cities, more cross-border transitions. Yet when fans tune in, none of this complexity is visible. They see pristine pitches, sharp passes, explosive sprints, perfectly timed kickoffs. What they don't see is the choreography underneath. Dedicated air corridors protecting arrival times. Mobile customs units clearing squads plainside. Climate-calibrated training hubs stabilizing physiology. Nursery-grown turf ensuring identical playing conditions. Tech convoys leapfrogging cities overnight. A war room monitoring every moving component. The 2026 World Cup isn't just a tournament. It's a continental logistics ecosystem operating at near military precision. And if it works perfectly, if there are no visible disruptions, that S when you know it succeeded. Because the greatest logistical achievement in modern sports will look effortless. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden infrastructure behind the World Cup, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Which host city do you think presents the toughest travel challenge in 2026? This is Victory Grid, and we'll see you in the next breakdown.